I'm Andrea Lee Matthies, writer, photographer, and clairvoyant medium, and this is the Bold, Brave Woman Project. This podcast is a living, breathing unfolding of what it really means to step into our becoming. Born from the ashes of a failed YouTube channel, this weekly podcast brings you real, unfiltered moments of failure, of bravery, and of deep intuitive knowing so that you too can step into who you're becoming with even more trust and bravery. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Bold, Brave Woman Project. I'm so excited to be with you here today, finally, with this podcast launching, because this podcast actually started out to be something else, something other than what it is right now. And it has been such a journey to get it here. It has asked me to be the boldest and bravest version of myself, because the original version of this project was actually a YouTube channel. The idea was born on International Women's Day this year. And at the time, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival was about to kick off here in Melbourne. And in town at the time, there were so many incredible comedians, particularly female comedians. And I thought, what an incredible opportunity there is right now to contact and interview all of these amazing comedians who are in town about their journeys with their bravery and their boldness. And so when this idea first dawned on me, I went through the program for the comedy festival and I wrote down the names. I watched the videos of every single female performer and started one by one with some bravery, with some boldness, reaching out to these comedians with this idea of this Bold, Brave Woman project to invite them to come and tell their stories. Not the stories of their show exactly, not the stories of their stand-up, but the stories of the women behind the show, the real journey, what it takes to have a dream, to have a creative idea, and to make it happen. And as a performer, I know how much it takes to dig in to your bravery, into your courage, into that trust that you can actually have the dream that you picture for yourself. And so I wanted to tell those stories. You know, it's always been my dream to be a TV host of my own show that helps women really embrace their bravery. So I thought, well, rather than waiting for a TV network to pick up me and my idea, I was going to create it in this form of this YouTube channel. And when I reached out to a number of the comedians performing, I had an overwhelming response of yes, 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 yes. We love this idea of telling the real story, the fun stuff, the hard stuff, the vulnerable stuff, the stuff that it really takes to be brave and do what we do. And it was very interesting because very quickly, almost within 24 hours, it went from a idea of I'm going to create this project to becoming a real project that I had to then actually action. So I created a website and I poured into it the vision that I had for this project. I sent out shot lists and questions and started to schedule the interviews for each of these comedians. And I realized very, very quickly I'm not equipped to create a YouTube channel off the bat. I'm a podcaster. I've never created a YouTube channel before. So I went and spoke to a friend of mine who runs a production company. We discussed the vision. He gave me lots of tips and tricks. He learnt me a whole bunch of audio and camera gear, and I started to watch YouTube channels and videos to help me unpack what it is that I wanted to create in terms of my style. And it was a big hustle. I had to dig really deep within myself to really reach into that creative, that big dreamer, the bold, brave version of myself that I know exists, to continue to push forward every day with this project, even although I was terrified most of the time. It took me about 4 days to finally realize, oh no, now I actually have to do something about this. Now I have to put myself out there. Now I have to figure this out really quick because the comedy festival was starting almost immediately at this point. And these women were only going to be in town for a matter of a week or 10 days if they were having a short show run. Some of them were in town for a month, so I knew I had a little bit more time there. But I had created this idea that had this ticking clock, and it created a huge amount of stress because all of a sudden I felt out of my depth. I thought, oh my God, I can't do this. What am I doing? And each day I just had to show up and just dig into these reserves of boldness and bravery that I know reside deep within me. There were some days where I had to just sit with the fear and sit with the childhood memories of failure that were coming up, with some of the past life conditioning, with some of the fear and old stuff that is existing in my system. I had to sit with that and really feel it and heal it and process it and move it through my body so that I could take a different step each day, whether that be to finally unpack the equipment that he gave me and run some tests, whether that be attending every single show that I could with the energy that I had to meet and greet with these women, to see them live on stage, to support them and allow seeing them in their bravery to fuel the reason why this project was really important and needed to happen. And so this was an incredibly chaotic time. And before I knew it, I had comedians scheduled. I was heading out on shoots for interviews, but also to shoot clips from their shows as well to be able to cut them in. And it was exhausting. And obviously, what you're listening to is not what I'm describing right now. Even although I had put all this effort into it, a lot of this that I captured, I actually couldn't use. I had all of these significant issues with all of these interviews. I had cameras overheating, I had audio cut out. And when I reviewed a lot of it, I realized this project, in the way that I was creating it right now, in this moment of time, in this timeline that I'm in, isn't going to come to fruition in the way that I had intended. And so I had to make that really tough choice to shut the project down in its version that it was. I knew that if I was going to take time from these women, I wanted it to be for the highest of quality, for the highest of output, and in the highest service of them and their stories. And with all of the issues that I was facing and my own exhaustion trying to frantically bring this project to life because I knew I had this ticking clock. There was a part of me that knew that I wasn't going to be able to service these women in the highest of the vision that I was holding for both them and for myself. And so I had to make that really tough choice to shut the project down. And it took me a couple of days to get over that. That felt like a failure. That felt like I had this beautiful idea and I was creating this amazing project, but I had failed. Like I hadn't managed to succeed in the metric of success that I had set for myself. And so it felt like I had failed myself. It felt like I had had another idea because I am someone who has a lot of ideas a lot of the time. And I had tried it and I had not completed it. I had to spend a couple of days really decoding that, unpacking that, not bypassing it, not trying to sweep it away or flush it away, but sit with it and understand what was there for me to be able to heal it and then move forward. And after a few days of moving through that, and a lot of tears and a lot of, well, what do I do now? If not this, then who am I? If not this project, if I'm not a storyteller, if I'm not doing this amazing work that's in service of women and in service of the world, who am I? What is my value? I felt really, really low. I'm going to be very honest to say I was really low and really wayward and not sure what to do next. But here's the beautiful thing that I realized: the bold, brave woman was me. By allowing this idea to drop into my space, to drop into my mind, to grab hold of it with both hands with anticipation and to work through the fear, to work through the imposter syndrome, to work with the, yes, this sounds great, but I have no idea how to make this happen. to finding answers to that, to seeking help, to talking to people, to reaching out. That was me sourcing my bravery. I was being and walking the journey of the bold, brave woman. And through this, I had become my own project. I had become the Bold, Brave Woman Project. And that's why I'm sitting here now sharing this story with you, sharing the journey of being bold, being brave as the woman in the story, so that you too can become your own Bold, Brave Woman Project. Within us all are these incredible, bold, brave women with these ideas, with these healings that need to happen, with these conditionings that we need to sit with and heal so that we can step into the full expression of our bravery. Because you are here not to just live a mundane, boring life. You are here for magnificence, for an incredible life, to lead these amazing earth-changing movements, to shape and heal and shift the perspective, even if it is just one other woman or one other person on this planet. That is why you're here. And the more that I can help you tap into that boldness and bravery through my stories, through my journeys, through my channelings, that is a life fulfilled for me. And that is why I am here. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. And of course, at any time, you can connect with me on Instagram. I'm at andy.matthies. I'll pop the spelling in the show notes for you. You can reach out to me anytime, send me your voice notes, share with me your successes, or you can drop us an email, which again is in the show notes, and share and connect and ask questions. I am here. We are doing this together. We are sourcing our braveness, our boldness as women on this planet who are here to lead by force and do incredible things. And I cannot wait to see what you create as you step into your own bravery. I love you, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you loved listening, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. You can also find me, your host, on Instagram at andy.matthies. If you're not in there yet and you want to get into the private Telegram space where all of these audios drop every day, as well as all the art, the conversation, and the behind the scenes, go to www.andrealeemathies.com/private podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram at Andrea Lee Matthies, and you can find more about me and all of my work at andrealeemathies.com. I'll see you in the next transmission.